Hey guys, Jordan here. In this video, I want to talk about the best laptop for real estate photography in 2022. Alright, so in my opinion, the best laptop in 2022 for real estate photography is this one right here. This is the one that I have. This is the 16-inch MacBook Pro M1 Pro, whatever it is. It's not the Max edition. I used to max out my stuff and just realized that you're not getting that much of a performance boost by speccing them out. So I think I paid like $2,500 for this one. This is the 1 terabyte, I think 16 gigs of RAM, M1 Pro chip. Honestly, I really like this one. The display is really awesome. With these new M1 MacBooks, they're super efficient and the battery life on those are way better than the Intel MacBook Pros that I've had in the past. And what was super surprising to me, so I also have, I think it's the 13 or 14 inch, the M1 2020 MacBook Air. And I had another MacBook Pro, the previous generation with the Intel processor. And when I went to the M1, I was so surprised at the performance out of a MacBook Air versus the MacBook Pro. Now, from the M1 MacBook Air, I think that one's probably the best value that you can get out there from a performance standpoint. Battery life, I was super impressed with how well that thing has performed. Now this one is a little bit nicer. It has a SD card slot and it has a bigger display, and I like the form factor. Well, it does have a little bit better performance, but honestly, at this point in time in 2022, you're like splitting hairs. You watch some of these, I don't know if you ever watch any of these videos where they will put one against the other and maybe you save like 20%, but honestly, it's not really that big of a deal, in the grand scheme of things. If you're getting a 10% increase or 20% increase in performance for double the price, right? So I think for value, I think the M1 MacBook Pro, the M1, it's the 2020. But the thing that I liked about this one, where they brought back, some of the standard stuff like a HDMI out. Some of you guys might use that, I don't. And then the SD card slot. And I think that, man, that's kind of late. A lot of the cameras that I shoot with now have specialized cards, right? But when they rolled out the one with the touch bar, they took away the SD card slot. And honestly, that model isn't all that much better than, say, the 2014 MacBook Pro from a performance and user experience, because I've used several of them. I had a specced out one with the touch bar, and then I had, like a 2014, and there wasn't that significant of a leap in performance, right? When the MacBook Pros went from a hard drive to the SSD, that was, in my opinion, the biggest leap in performance. And then this is the next leap in performance when you go from Intel to the Apple-specific M1 chips. And I think on the horizon they have the MacBook Air M2 gonna be released soon. But man, if you're not the type of person that wants to have the latest and greatest, the M1 chip MacBook Air and the MacBook Pros are gonna be solid for several years to come. And I have a very capable MacBook, what is this? This is the Mac Pro. 28 core, whatever. I got over 700 gigs of RAM. And honestly, like real world usability, these ones are almost just as fast and as capable while consuming way less power. It's just astonishing how well or how progressive the performance has gotten and efficiency has gotten over the last just couple years. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the best laptop for 2022. I like the 16-inch, the nice big display. It'll allow you to see better, I like the display a lot on that, and be able to edit photos if you're trying to. I think just having a bigger display is nice. and the MacBook Air for value. I think you can get an entry-level one for around $800 or $900. But for the MacBook Pro, I would say get the 16-inch over the 14-inch because there's only a difference in a couple $100, I believe. But the thermals, and if you're pushing it, doing video editing and some other things, I think you're gonna see a better performance out of this one with the cooling system, bigger fans, because the 14-inch, I think the thermals and the cooling system isn't as great. So anyways, I'm gonna cut it at that. If you got value out of this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel as we consistently put out real estate photography content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching. We will see you guys on the next one.